Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, we will dive into the code implementation of the linear search algorithm step by step. So don't worry if you are new to programming, I will explain it all. So after writing the code, we will compile and run our program to see the results in array, right? So in the array, there are two ways to search an element. One is linear search, which compares the element with the array elements one by one, and second is the binary search algorithm, which we will implement in the next video. So in this video we will focus on linear search algorithm only. So let's get started with the program. So we will start our program. First we will write this, we will include the input output functions, right? So we will write this header file hash include stdio.h. After that we will have two functions. One will be your main function, and from where we will call this linear search function. So we will basically put our linear search code within this linear search function. Okay, so first we will write the code of the main function, then we will understand the code of the linear search function. Okay, so within the main function we should have the array, right? Then we will search some element within that array. Now, there are two ways here. First is you can input that array from the user, and second is you can just take the dummy array here in the program itself. So we will just make array here instead of asking the array elements from the user. So you can do that as well. So basically what you will do is you will just declare some size here and then run a loop from 0 to that size and ask the user to enter the array elements. Okay, so we will just put some elements here by ourselves. Let's say 1 3 4 5 23 46 78 90. Okay, so that's it. We will keep these elements in the array. Now what we need, we also need the size of this array. Now if you count the elements of this array, there are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So size is the 8. Now we can declare um, a variable called size and initialize it with the value of the size, that's the 8. But instead of putting that value statically, we will just calculate the size of the array dynamically, right? What we will do is we will just write a variable and we can call it as a size variable. After that, how to calculate the size of this array? That's simple. Just write a function size of. So size of is a function that will calculate the size of what you provide it in as a parameter. So first we will provide it as array. So now it will return me the size of this array. Now what will be the size of this array? So there are 8 elements, and based on my operating system, for example, it will take 4 bytes here. So 8 multiplied by 4, that will be returned here. Now I just want the number of elements, not the size in bytes. So my size I just want the number of elements in an array. So what we will do is, so this size of array will be the size of the total array divided by will be the size of the one element. That will give me the number of elements, right? So I will divide it by the size of one element. Now you can take any element, so we will just take array of 0. That will be the first element. Okay, so now this will give me the number of elements in an array. For example, there are 8 elements, so 8 multiplied by 4, so 32 bytes. Fine. So 32 bytes will be returned here by this function because the size of the array is 32 bytes here. After that, we are dividing it with the size of the one element. So the size of the one element is 4 bytes. So 32 divided by 4, that will return me 8. So there are 8 elements. Fine. So I hope you got what this line is doing. Now next what we will do is, so we have got the array. Now we have to ask for an element we want to search. Fine. Now what we will do is we will declare one variable here. Let's call it as a key, and this value we will take from user. We will ask the user to enter the value of the key, that the element that user wants to search in the given array. Okay, so we will print a message for the user. That message will be something like enter the key element. Okay, so you can give any message. After that, you will just scan this element. For that you will use scanf function. So printf is used to print your message on the output and to output your message on the screen, right? Now the scanf is to get something from the user from the console. Now what you will do is just write here the identifier, and after that you can just write ampersand, and here you have to mention the name of the variable that will be the key. Okay, so by writing this, what it will do is it will just print this message on the screen. After that it will ask the user to enter that value, and then this scanf will just take that value and put it into the key variable. Okay, that's fine. Now so we will just put a comment here. So this is element to be searched, right? Now after that we will call the linear search function. Okay, so we will call a linear search function to find the element in the array. Now you will call that function we have named as linear search. What you will pass? First you will pass the array to that function, right? So we will pass the array. Second, what will you pass? Second, we will pass the size of an array because that is needed there. So the size will be required. And third, we will pass the element to be searched. That is the key element, right? The key is the variable name. Now we will return something from that function, right? Whether the element was found or not, we will return there some value. So we will discuss what we will return in that function. Okay, so that value the value which we will return from the linear search, we will just capture that here. So let's call it as index. That variable we will call as index, and whatever value will be returned from the linear search function, that value we will capture in this index variable. Okay, so after that we will print here the states, right? Whether the value was, whether that element was found in the array or not. After that we will end our program with the return statement. Okay, so this line is pending here. We will first write the code of the linear search, then I will explain you what we have returned and what to print here in the main function back. Okay, now here the parameters will be, one will be the array and another will be the size of the array, and similarly another will be the key, the element which we have to search in the array. So basically the you will write int array. Okay, so that will receive the array which we have sent in the main function. Then we have to declare some element, let's say size, and then there will be an element key, okay, which we have to search. Now what we will do is we will just write a simple loop. So we will write a simple loop, and that loop will start from the index 0, right? So the array index starts from the 0. Now from the 0 we will start our loop, and where should it end? It should end at the size of the array. So that's why we sent the size to this function. Now we will write this I should be less than this size. Okay, so I should be less than size. After that we will increment this I one by one, and within this for loop what we have to write is, now we are considering each and every element of array. We have to now compare that with our key element. So that's simple enough. We'll just write an if condition and then compare the ith element of the array with the key element. Okay, so if that ith element matches with the key, then we have found our element and we can return back. If that element is not found, then we have to iterate over again. Fine, so we have to iterate to the next position of the array. What we will do within this if condition here, we will just say if that key is same as that of any array element, that means our element has been found, so we can return the index. Okay, so we will return the index, and in the main function we will print that the element has been found at the index number this. Okay, so because we are returning the ith index, that means your element has been found at the ith index. Okay, now for example I have sent an element which is not found in this array. What will happen? So after executing this for loop, so this the number of iterations will be equal to the size of the array. Now this for loop will run, for example, if there are 10 elements in an array, it will run 10 times. After running 10 times, the control will be out of this for loop. And what should we return now? In this case, we will return -1, because arrays don't have the -1 as an index. So we will return -1. That will specify, that will notify to the main function that nothing has been found. This element was not found in the array if we return -1. Now that is the same thing we will capture in the main function and print the states. Okay, here what we will write is if index equal to -1, that means the element is not found in the array if index equal to -1, right? So we can print a message here that, for example, we will print that this element is not found in the array. Okay, so I have just put the percentile d there, so you have to mention which element, so that is key will be printed there that this element is not found in the array. So that's it. Now else what you will do is, else you will print that, we'll simply just copy paste this line, it will be same. Okay, so you will just write is found in the array, is found in the array at index, and then you will also pass the index. Fine. Now here you will also pass index which you have received back from the the linear search function. Okay, so that's it. We will compile and run this program and analyze the output of this program. So we will just click on the compile button here and see that this has been compiled successfully. After that, we will click on the run button. Now you can see the output screen here. So you can enter any element and see what is the result. So let's enter 50. So is 50 present in this array? No, the 50 is not in this array. So what should be the output? Output should be that the 50 is not found in the array. So let's enter and you can see 50 is not found in the array. Now let's run this program again and now we will enter the element which is present in this array. So let's enter 23 here. Now is this 23 present in the array? Yeah, it's present at index number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So at index number 4, 23 is present. So let's enter and see what is the output. We can see the output is 23 is found in the array at index number 4. Right. So that is the output of your program. Now let's discuss the time complexity of this program. What will be the time complexity of this program? So if we talk, these will be the order of n these things to declare the elements and then input the take input from the user and printing the output. Now the real deal is this calling the linear search function. Now let's analyze the linear search function. Within the linear search function, we are running a loop and the number of iterations in that loop is, what is the number of iterations? The number of iterations here are n. Okay, so that n is the size of array. If the size of array is 1000, this loop will run 1000 times in the worst case. So the worst case will be if the element is not found or if the element is the last one, then it will be equal to the number of the number of iterations will be the size of the array. So in the worst case, the for loop will run n times, where n is the size of the array. So what will be the time complexity? Time complexity will be big O of n, that's order of n. Now in the best case it can run in order of 1 only, because if we are searching the element first element of the array, then it will be order of 1, and in the average case it will be order of n by 2. So constants does not matter here, that means it will be order of n only. So the time complexity of the linear search algorithm is order of n, right? So that's it in this video. Thank you all for watching and I hope this tutorial has been beneficial for you. If you are new to the channel, consider subscribing and turning on the notification bell so you never miss any of our upcoming programming tutorials. Until next time,